Hey everyone, welcome back to Reading with Tatiana. Today I'm going to do a summary of my January reads of 2022. I was fortunate to be able to have time to finish 5 books this month, so I'll be doing a quick review of each book, my rating of it out of 5. And yeah, so if you actually do want to see a more in detail review of each book, you can check out my channel. I'll put the links down below of each book as I kind of go into more details of the book, the characters, the setting, what I liked, what I didn't like. And as always, if you like what you see, I would really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, or leave a comment if you've read any of these books. And if you have any recommendations for me for February or March, also leave that in a comment down below as well. Alright, so the first book I read for January 2022 was Five Little Indians by Michelle Good, and I gave this book a 5 out of 5. I really do think it's a must read, and it should really be part of the Canadian high school curriculum. So basically, we follow the story of 5 survivors of Indian residential schools in Canada and see how they try to create a life in Vancouver, BC. I love this book because it was set in where I live and because it is very true to Canadian history. So yeah, that is a 5 out of 5 for my first book of January. Alright, my second book was Essentialism by Greg McKeown. Originally, when I finished this book, I actually gave it a 4 out of 5, but now that's been a few weeks and I'm now reviewing all the books I read in January, I actually demoted to a 3 out of 5. So this book, again, is called Essentialism, and it is different than minimalism. This is a self-help book, and instead of trying to cut and live your life the most minimal way you can and most efficient, Greg instead talks about how there are things that are essential to our lives and to our happiness. So it's not about cutting the most things, it's about cutting out things that are just critical to your happiness and also things that you can't avoid, like family or those kind of responsibilities. This book I think is really good if you feel like you're balancing or juggling a lot of plates in your life and not really knowing how to say no, and it kind of gives you validation on how you can say yes and say no to different things in your life. My third book for January is Our Love by Hazel Hayes. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 and I still stand by it. It is a fictional book and it starts with a couple who has just broken up at the end of a 5-year relationship. And then we kind of go backwards to the origins of the relationship and see what led them to where they are now to break up after 5 years together. I definitely recommend this book if you are someone that has experienced heartbreak or an end of a relationship, because the way the protagonist talks about her experience is a lot of things that I felt when I've gone through my breakups, and I feel like it was kind of nice to see all my irrational thoughts or questions that I experienced through breakups through the story. Having said that though, I did talk to a coworker about this book and she's only halfway through and she didn't like it at all. And the reason why she didn't like it is because she felt like it was kind of all over the place, and some reviews of this book is that they do feel there's a lot of time warping. So if you're someone that doesn't really enjoy that, then probably not the book for you. Alright, my fourth book for January is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This is a young adult's book and it's set in the near future where we have this new technology where you will be notified of the day you'll die, the midnight before. So it kind of talks about mortality and about what you would do if you knew when you're going to die and how you live your last day. I only gave it 3 out of 5 because I felt there were too many characters that weren't needed, and I felt like maybe because it's a young adult's book, I couldn't really relate to the two protagonists. However, having said that, this book did get many, many raving reviews, especially if you're part of the Latinx community or of the LGBTQ plus community. So I think definitely worth reading. It was really easy to read, a very interesting concept of this new technology, and yeah, so 3 out of 5 for me, but maybe a 4 or a 5 for you. My last book for January was Even After All This Time by Afshineh Latifi. This was a 5 out of 5 and it is a must read. It is a memoir that she shares a story of her experience and her family's experience of fleeing Iran during the Iran Revolution in the late 70s, early 80s, and how they go, I guess, flee around the world and then ultimately settle in America, and how they kind of grow their lives and careers. And it's just such an amazing book. Like, I feel if you have any I don't know, if you ever have any struggle in your life or hardships or, have any interest in immigration or refugees, I just feel there's so many topics in this book. Like, there's so many, cross-cultural references. If you're someone that's grew up, like me, I'm Chinese, but I was born here, but I was raised by my Chinese mom. So, like, there's a lot of, like, culture conflict. And it's just, like, even though it's such a serious and dark topic, I feel like this memoir has still a lot of like funny and also like heartwarming moments. I definitely shedded a few tears towards the end, and I definitely recommend to read this 5 out of 5. All right, guys, so that was all my books for January 2022 that I read. Let me know if you read any of the books down below. And if you have any recommendations for me for February or March, I'm definitely open to hear them. I think it'd be interesting for me because I never really go towards horror books or maybe more sci-fi books. If you have any of those, definitely recommend below. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.